to. Well, we could see the first ship of this season make its way under the lift bridge earlier than usual. The lack of ice allowed annual maintenance of the Soo Locks to wrap up early, resulting in an adjusted start date to the 2024 Great Lakes shipping season. Northern News Now's Michaela Wrench takes a look at the impact of the industry and our area.
The Soo Locks will open 3 days earlier than previous years, due to the urging of major steel producers anxious to get underway. The shipping season traditionally starts each year on March 25th, but this year it will start on March 22nd at 6 p.m.
The early open won't necessarily equate to more or fewer shipments. It will equate to shipments arriving earlier. And that's the biggest change here.
Before the announcement, many of the companies that are moving a commodity had already set their shipping schedule. There's a chance those schedules could change a bit this year with the earlier start. It's not typical for surrounding mills to receive shipments through the winter months. With limited space, the early start provides relief for the mills to start getting restocked.
Essentially takes most of the summer in an ordinary year to get restocked to the point that they're full, and then to be able to make it through that typical 10-week winter shutdown.
For those outside of the industry, since 1984, it's been a Northland tradition to guess the arrival of the first ocean-going ship, better known as Salties.
And now with the Soo Locks opening, conceivably it could open for a earlier ocean-going arrival too, though at this point in time we don't have anything concrete on the schedule yet.
But it will become obvious to all in earshot of the lift bridge once that first horn sounds later this month. In Duluth, Michaela Wrench, Northern News Now.
Michaela, thank you. Now, if you want to participate in the 41st annual First Ship Contest, predicting when that first salty arrives, make sure to submit your guess by March 20th. We have a link right now on our website at northernnewsnow.com.